world. My name is Ilse. I've got this absolutely gorgeous, lovely soul with me, Maryanne Savino. Hello, Maryanne. How are you?
Hi, Elsa. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me on as a guest.
That's
I'm
really
really
nice.
grateful.
I'm really thankful that you're on my show today. So that will be very interesting, like always. Can you present yourself to the listeners? That will be fast.
Sure, I would love to. I'm Maryanne Savino. I'm based out of New York City. I've been on this spiritual path from, gosh, as far back as I can remember. I started very early as a teenager practicing yoga, and then in my early 20s, I studied herbalism, and I began to study shamanism. So it's been almost 30 years that I really began to, learn as much as I could about what we're all doing here on the planet, like why am I here? And I began to study many different modalities.
And what sort of modalities are you doing?
I was a massage therapist for a while and an energy healer. And then I went from that to being a doula. I used to help women in childbirth. And then I also was studying sound healing, but the sound healing came through naturally for me. Just was something in my soul that was realizing, oh, this is what I'm, here to express. It wasn't so much about how it sounded, it was more about how it was feeling in me. And I studied many temple dances from different cultures. And, I'm a teacher of ascension and the language of light, which is the language of the soul. I also feel that I am a star seed, a being who came from the cosmos. I believe all of us are in some degree. And I'm not just learning and opening up, but I feel it's more of a remembrance. We're remembering who we are and why we're here, and that we have a greater purpose in life. And that's what we chose to come here for, is to awaken and remember it's like an awakening to remembering our life purpose and why we're here on the earth plane. So that's a little bit about my background. There's more on my website later on. I can give you all of that.
Yeah, we will put it under the video anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So that's really nice. Today, it's very interesting what you say. It's all about remembering who we are, what we come and do, and what's our purpose in life, no? So we're going to talk about this today, about the star seeds. And why are these star seeds all today here on planet Earth? So we're going to start. What is a star seed?
Okay, a star seed to me is a being who incarnated in another solar system, another star system, before coming to the earth plane in a human form. So for instance, there are many constellations. There are the Pleiades, Sirius, Andromeda, Arcturus, Orion, Lyra, Antares, many different. I'm not going to get into every single one, but those are some of the common ones.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
the most important ones.
These are souls, I believe, because none of us are from the earth plane. This is not our original home. Now, I used to think, I felt a very strong resonance to the constellation of Arcturus. This is my own experience of what I feel about it all, because I like to really share from my experience, even though I resonate with others. In that, I used to believe that my star of origin was Arcturus. Even though my first remembrance was the Pleiades, what I realized, this was later on, is that our true source of creation, our origin, is source. We are source, sparks of light who chose an earthly existence to be here on this plane of the earth at this time to assist Mother Earth into the 5th dimension. We came here to have an earthly journey. We're sparks of light of source creation. So our true origin is of source. But as a star seed, before coming to Earth, we perhaps had lifetimes on these other star systems that I mentioned. And so our galactic nature, our star seed nature lives within us. I know a lot of people talk about channeling information, and I'm not saying that I don't do that and that that's not true, but I started to realize also that one day when I would ask for guidance, I wasn't getting any information, and I thought, what's going on? Oh my gosh, I hope I didn't lose my connection.
Yeah.
Like there must be, you know, something going on here. And then I realized because the information, the wisdom is within. And instead of looking outside of myself for answers or going to somewhere, because to me, I believe this ascension journey, this is all about evolution and awakening and remembering. It's not about going outside and up and out. It's about coming in to really that place within that we have disconnected from because we look outside of ourselves. What is above is below, you know, what is behind is in front, and you know, what is, everything is in between. So it's infinite, is an infinite experience.
Absolutely.
So, you know, star seeds, there are many types. They also, I can feel this a lot. We have a challenging time being on the earth plane sometimes, a lot of times, because of the density here. It's not the Mother Earth herself. She's lovely. That's why we're here. We're here for her. We chose to be here.
Because we have this connection also with her,
yes.
no?
Yes, because we're not disconnected. We have this, we've lost, I believe this. We haven't ever truly lost the actual connection to our soul's light, to God's source. It's the awareness that we sometimes lose the connection to, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know, it's not so much that we've, you know, that I could say, oh, well, I'm not connected to source. No, I am connected to source, but sometimes I forget. And then we go through these challenges to help us remember, wait a second, you've forgotten who you are. We're going to give you a little bit of, you know, pulling the rug out from under you here. So, yeah, so I really do believe that the density on the earth plane is what is challenging for starseeds. Most starseeds are highly sensitive and intuitive and empathic. And it can be, you know, really daunting sometimes here with all this density, because before we incarnate, you see, we made this agreement to come here. We chose it and we volunteered. We had a certain plan in order. This is, you know, my feeling of it.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so what happens is when we start to come through the gate and we come into the human existence, into this, you know, into the body, into our mother's wombs, let's say, because that's where we birth out of physically, we forget who we are. And then as we begin to live our lives, we start getting glimpses of, wait a second, what, you know, you think, okay, I'm, as a little girl, well, you know, I'm gonna be a dancer and a singer, and I want to be a mommy, and I want to have my own home, and da 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 da. And of course, the singing and dancing in some degree happened, but I never got married, never had kids, da 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 da, whatever.
The thing is, we're very influenced by the society, by all the beliefs from our parents, from the education, and they just disconnect us. And they were disconnected, and the ones before, and you go backwards so many
our ancestral lineages.
Exactly, ancestrals backwards. I mean, they just try to do the best, but that's the only thing they know. So
right.
That's just a moment that we have to break out and just try to cut with these beliefs and everything, and the whole society system, what they learned us, that really
It's true. Yeah, it's all
doesn't,
programming.
it doesn't mean anything. Everything what we learned, really, we don't need. We have to do absolutely the opposite.
Now we're remembering who we really are and what we came here for. And, you know, it's also, we're helping Mother Earth, moving her into the fifth dimension. But we're also, I wanted to say that we're here for the contrast. So there's shadow and there's light. And you can't know the one without the other.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, you know, we're taught also, oh, the shadow's dark, it's negative, it's bad, stay away from it, that's just negative. But you can't live without it. It helps.
No, because and the universe always looks for the balance between the shadow and the light. There's no light without shadow, and there's no shadow without light.
That's right.
And that means more that the light worker or worker, more that the shadow comes up. And more shadow comes up, more lighters they're going to come up. So they always looking for a balance.
Balance. And that shadow a lot of times has a tendency to override the light because, again, the programming, the conditioning, the fear.
Absolutely.
So you take the light that you are, when you're able to get to that place, and we can, it's not, nothing is impossible, you start to infuse the shadow with your light. So this way it comes into harmony. Because if one, you know, if the shadow is overbearing, then we're forgetting who we are. We're feeling, you know, worried and scared and lonely and sad. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of these are human emotions. I don't believe in negative emotions. They're not negative or positive. They're human. This is a human existence. When we are in spirit world, or more in our galactic, you know, sense of self, when we're out in the cosmos, we don't have the same experiences that we have down here on the earth plane. Because here on the earth plane, when you come in, you have to drop some of your light and step into the density in order to exist here. That's where the trouble comes in.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
That's where the trouble comes in. So when we start remembering, shadow starts pay attention, no, go away, no, I'm not going away, I'm here. You need to, you need to honor me too. I'm part of you. When are you going to love me? You talk about the light and the love and the fluffy, wonderful joy and da. No. You have, like you said, it's a balance. So as we begin to remember through our shadow aspects, that's when we start to also remember, oh, wow, my mission here on earth. That's why I'm here. What is that about for me? Each star seed is going to have, of course, their own. We resonate with each other. I think the other thing is that we're learning and we're remembering. So we're learning and remembering this contrast of how to live from our heart. We close our heart shut down due to trauma, due to pain, past lives, this life. So we start to remember that we are of the heart, and we start to tap into the unconditional love, the compassion, the forgiveness, the gratitude. All of these things have an opposite side. That's the shadow aspect. So when we can't love ourselves, it's because maybe, you know, there's something about not accepting who you are. I'm not accepting something within myself. I'm not honoring. You know, there's the grief, but then there's the joy. You know, that pain and joy are together. So I also feel this is about the heart space. Ascension is about returning to our heart. Our home is in our heart, no matter where we are in the universe, whether we're in a human form or a galactic, you know, energy, spirit energy, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same. The heart, the light within, never truly dies. We're eternal beings. We may physically leave the physical body dimension at some point, we will, but our light still continues. And so
What is ascension? Just
Well,
for people who doesn't understand, what is the
yeah,
word
ascension, it's really about a rebirthing not only of the Mother Gaia Earth, because that's, again, what starseeds are here for this mission. We are remembering our divinity. We are coming home to who we really are, because we come in with amnesia, we forget. So this ascension is helping us come home. It's a consciousness expansion. It's, yes, that word ascension, you think going up and out. Really, it's about coming down and in and coming down into our body. So bringing more of our galactic energy, our cosmic force down into our physical, rooting in, anchoring into the new earth, bringing in, we're the conduits. When the frequencies come in, ascension is really about frequencies are coming in, they're entering us. Now they're hitting on the dense spots. They're hitting on the traumas, the wounds, that, whatever we've had in there that's been unresolved. Now all of that starts to wake up, right? It starts getting like there's knots. Now the knots are being loosened and opened, and the light comes in to push out the density. Once the density starts to leave, unless of course we're really holding on to it, because sometimes we do that, it's part of being human. But once we give up the resistance, the light that comes in fills up those areas that were once holding the karmic imprints. That's when the balance, the harmony, the peace, we come back to our sense of wholeness. To me, that is ascension. And everybody, to some degree, is experiencing this, even if they don't understand it. And they don't know what that means. They're feeling it, because it is really about a feeling, a sensing. It's very multi-sensory, multi-dimensional. And you need the third dimension to have the multi-dimensional experience. A lot of people, I hear them say this, including myself, oh, it's too third dimensional. I'm tired, just get away from the third dimension. But that's not totally possible, I believe. I believe that it exists as part of being the human. Now we are shifting from a 3D human into, 3D dense human into a 5D galactic crystalline human. But again, you said it, that balance.
Exactly. We're always looking for balance.
Yeah.
Always. How do you know that you are a starseed?
That's a really good question. As a small child, I never felt like I belonged here. A lot of starseeds will say that they don't, like, they wander around thinking, what am I doing here? What is this?
Yeah, that's true.
You really start to question it, like, wow. And, some starseeds, they definitely, like I said, they sense they're not belong here. They don't belong here. You feel more of a connection to animals and nature and simple things in life. Like, I find myself, even whether as a child or as an adult, if I'm around crowds too much, it feels very uncomfortable to me. I could feel everybody's energies and I start to get overwhelmed. My nervous system, we have very sensitive nervous systems. Definitely highly intuitive, psychic, paranormal. We're connecting to paranormal ETs. We have a fascination for the night sky and the planetary systems, astronomy and astrology. We feel that the families we were born into don't really feel, even though we love them, but we feel like alien.
They're wrong families.
Yeah, we feel very alone and lost and isolated sometimes, and there's a sadness. I want to go home. I want to go home. But I also I'm realizing more and more that, yes, I may not be from the earth plane, but everywhere in the universe is home. And if I can find more and more ways to connect to the home within myself, then you feel that deeper connection, because we're here for deep, rich experiences. I feel that starseeds also, they're not comfortable with being on the surface. We don't like small talk. We want something that tells us there's a deeper meaning here for us. What is my passion? What is my purpose? The mundane world doesn't feed us. You know, it just feels like something's missing. And on a physical level, I've noticed something about a lot of starseeds, and I've been this way, and I used to think there was something physically wrong with me. We have lower blood pressure and lower blood temperature, body temperature and blood pressure. And sometimes, you know, you go for a blood test, your doctor says, wow, that's kind of low. And I wonder why, but yet nothing's wrong. You feel fine. A lot of starseeds have these things going on with them. Of course, always make sure you're taking care of your physical health, because that's really important. We definitely, I know for myself, I've always had a strong connection for the extraterrestrials, for astrology, for things that are very spiritual, connecting to the earth, really finding my creative passion within me and in some way expressing it in the world. You know, these are, you know, I have a mission, I have a divine purpose. I know it's not here for something that's mundane and boring. It has to be something exciting and really, like, when I'm engaged in it, I feel alive. I feel, wow, this is it. You know, this feels so real and at home to me. That's what I would say. That's how, you know.
Yeah, when we engage, then we feel really happy. Yeah, it's true. Definitely.
And a lot of times we, like, let's say you're traveling somewhere and you're maybe go there for the first time in this life, you realize, wow, why does this place feel so familiar to me? I feel like I've been here before, and then I remember being in Europe one time, I think it was in France, and I was walking and I was about to turn the corner and I didn't know what was on the other side of, you know, when you turn, I said, I want to go sit down. My feet are hurting. I want to get something to drink, and just, I hope a cafe is right there with beautiful flowers. Wouldn't you know, as soon as I turned the corner, there was a little cafe with beautiful flowers and nice music. And I said, there it is. You know, it's like,
I knew, I saw it. I was sitting here in my past life.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting incredible how these things happen.
Yeah. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's really nice. It's thank you so much to talk about your experience and your life. Your life experiences, let's say. Do you have a general message for the audience that would be nice?
Yeah.
Something that you want to share?
The insights and wisdom and our greatest power lives within us. It's nothing wrong with looking outside to sometimes get inspired and align with something. But really, the truth of who we are, our greater wisdom and knowledge is within, and nobody can do what you came here to do. It's your incredible, unique power. And if you can remember that you have something that nobody else has, and then when we come together, we're like a piece of like pieces of a puzzle, and each of us puts our own self into that bigger picture, then we come into this global, beautiful connection of one loving essence. So remember who you are, and step into your power and know that you have something that no one else has. And that's a beautiful thing to share with each other, and to just know that we're all here to share in this light, in this world, in this divine universe together. We're not separate from the stars. The stars live within us.
That's nice. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, I don't know.
My website, if anybody wants to read more about, what I do and more about my work, is www.sacreddanceandsound.com. So
Okay.
sacreddanceandsound.com. And there's more information. I do teach. I have online courses. I give private sessions. We're in a very exciting time on the planet, and yes, it can be challenging, but know that we came here to be here for it, and we are the change. We have to take the steps to make things happen, and we are. So just know that even when it feels challenging and troubling and there's a struggle, when we go within, when we turn toward ourselves inside and go to that place and say, I'm right here, I love you, I believe in you, I know who you are, I know who I am, I'm here to share my magnificence. Every day, if you can just turn within and just know you make a great difference just by being here.
So just by being here, you make a big difference.
That's right. Just by being here, you're making a great difference without doing anything, but just being who you are in your light is all the beautiful gift that we are. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time and your cooperation on my channel. And we see each other back in the next interview. I send loads of light for everybody. Bye.
Bye. Lots of love, everyone. Be well.